Into a semi.
I will say, I can chuckle about that now. A week ago, 2 weeks ago.
All right. Well, unfortunately for Eric, it's not going to snow,
We hope.
but the rest of us all green.
I will have to say that Ron was praying on Sunday that we hadn't had a hard winter, and that it did snow a lot more.
Well, you know.
It didn't hit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very good.
Because it didn't. North of the wall, it didn't get there, but.
No.
No.
Kathy was really worried about the snow and the surgeries.
Well, you know what they say, February goes out like a lamb. Or March comes in like a lamb, what happens, it goes out like a lamb.
All right. Excuse me. First part of we're gonna kind of review what we did, the first part here. Matthew 21 through 16 is kind of where I'm gonna be pulling this from. Just to make sure that I did my job. The kingdom of heaven is like a man that did what? What's it like to?
Landlord hired some people.
Yeah, so a landowner that hired, built a vineyard, had everything ready to go, and then left it in charge of somebody else. Hired workers, wow, I'm off tonight. I told you the other day that my brain was scattered. I think it just turned into scrambled eggs. He went out and hired laborers, correct? I'll get it right this time. All right. What was agreed upon price? Or what was the going rate of that day?
Penny?
It's a penny by what is standard. It's a denarius, actually. It's about 17 cents. It was the standard wage of the day. All right. What do we notice here? What does guy do?
Hire some in the morning and some later in the day.
Okay,
Same rate.
as the day went on, he hired them all at the same rate, bringing them in correctly. Correct? All right. How is that like the kingdom? I'm ready to group right.
People will be added to the church throughout its time.
And individuals are added at a pace. And what does that show?
We all get the same rate.
Okay, we're all on the same plane, right? Oh, not on the. Erica was supposed to have that up there. It's got two blue lights, that's all right. All right, you can hear me now. Wow, that was handy. We're all on the same wage grade, everybody's got the same reward. How did they view it, or how does it show the Jews' train of thought at the time, I guess is the way I'll put it. What they got paid versus what it means spiritually. What was the difference?
Based on time.
They wanted to be paid based on merit, what they did. They thought, the early workers thought that because they showed up early, and since he paid the last first, and they got the same amount, that they should get paid more. But that is not how it is. All right. How are a lot of people's reaction today to that kind of thought? Or how can it be strewed, I guess?
Same way. Been a Christian a long time, your reward should be better.
You're going to be more happy because of what you've suffered through. I guess to me, the way they looked at it a little bit was the fact that, well, I've worked more, I should get more. Does our work here guarantee us more? No, we're all on the same plane, right? Everybody's getting paid the same. So no matter what you do here, it doesn't give you more. Everybody's on the same plane.
Even if the Christians that got baptized when they were 13 and stayed faithful, and the Christians that got baptized when they were 92 and stayed faithful, they get the same.
A lot of what I read has been, you see an older adult that's been in the church several years and they've worked their entirety. And I guess the way I kind of thought about it was the fact that, they know what they're going to get. They know the reward that's coming. So you're more apt to be, you're appreciative of that, especially after hard work. I mean, at the end of the day, and you've worked pretty hard and you can see what you've made. Aren't you happy with the progress that one's made? I mean, if you can see it. Sometimes it's hard to see. Sometimes it doesn't look like you're getting anywhere. And you're like, why do I keep doing this? But yet, at the end of the day, and the project's done, one should feel glad that he's got this much accomplished. And then you see somebody that has just gotten baptized and they're wanting to go out and do what do I want to say?
If so, zeal.
The zeal. That's what I was wanting. Thank you. Just the drive to want to go do something new. And to have that and then to be done, say a car crash or something, were they willing to do any less than the person that's still around and still going? No. But they're just happy. I mean, you look at it from their point of view, even though you've been a Christian a short time, at least you had that opportunity to come in rather than be lost. Okay? I do like the guy's response in 13 and 14. If I'd get in the right chapter. Verse 13, but he answered one of them and said, friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what is yours and go your way. I wish to give to this last man the same as to you. And the last man would have been paid, had worked the same amount of time. But he brought out the fact that you agreed to do it for a certain price. You should go into something knowing what you're going to get paid, generally. And if you okayed that, why would you expect more?
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. I see that a lot of times where you see people thinking that they're owed more than what they should be. Now, at the end of the day, at the end of this time, they agreed to work. It was usually a 12-hour day, 6 to 6, give or take, depending on how long the sun was out. But, if you go into excessive hours, that's one thing. But if it's a standard work day, say you're going to get $10 for doing this. Well, at the end of the day, I'm not going to expect 12 or 14 or 16 for doing the same amount as what I agreed to work for earlier in the day. All right? I think we got that. Any other comments? All right. Let's jump over to chapter 25 of Matthew. And does somebody want to read 1 through 13, please?
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, and go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they were to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
Okay. See if I can get these pages to do what I want them to do. Sometimes it's easier just to do that. All right. We're going to start with card number 82 is where we're going to be at to begin with. How many total virgins were there?
10.
Okay, there's 10 of them. And what was the division amongst them?
5 wise and 5 foolish.
Okay. Why did they have to have the oil?
Keep their lamps
To
burning.
see.
Gotta see. What time of day was this?
Right.
Nighttime? What does that kind of represent, I guess? Or what's it kind of give us an idea of?
Us being the light.
Preparation? What's that? Can somebody please put that on a piece of paper and put it on the wall back there? Because she admitted she was wrong one time. It's light to see, it's dark. And who are we waiting on?
Us?
Yeah, who are we?
God.
We're waiting on Christ, right? His return. All right. That's kind of what it's representing is the fact we're waiting. But yet, as we're waiting, well, we're going to go over this several times tonight because I got lots of verses. But we are prepared for what is to come. We are to be watching and waiting. All right. Now, what time of day did the bridegroom come?
Midnight.
What's so odd with that?
It's usually the day.
Nope. I won't hold it over your head. They held these at night, but generally if you're going to go to a party, what time, are you going to show up at midnight? Some of us might, some of us are a little slower than others of getting to the places we should have, especially at a younger age. I'm a little better now.
Usually when they end, isn't it?
I don't know.
You're gonna, at the end of the day, they started these at night, but usually not at midnight. So it's kind of unexpected. You would think they would be ready to go before that if you're trying to get a party started.
I was always told that anything that happened after midnight was not good, so you should be home.
True. I won't argue that at all. So, and that's what you tell all.
Yeah.
So, yes, very good point. Especially like at 4 o'clock in the morning when you're out of gas. Yeah, it's still nighttime, so that's not a good thing. In the snow and cold. Some of us are slow learners. But it's something we need to be paying attention to and waiting. It's giving us an example of what kind of how Christ will come when we're not expecting it. If we know something's coming, we'll be prepared. Why are we told to be prepared? Because we don't know. Somebody want to bring up Mark 13:35, please? Mark 13:35.
Which ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning.
That's a pretty good example. We don't know when, right? There's nothing telling us this is the time of Christ's return. Someone want to read Matthew 25:13? Wait a minute. We just read that one. What did I write that down? Must have been important. But it's reinforcing, and a lot of these will do that. They're all going to be, hey, look at this. It's something we all need to be prepared. How can we be prepared?
Studying,
Studying,
doing good works,
good works.
teaching.
That's why my wife didn't leave me out in the snowbank. I'd have been walking. I could see light. But yeah, we should be studying. We don't get the word of God from anywhere but the Bible, right? I mean, you go, if you want the answers for anything, say you're working on a car, really works with about anything. Do you go to the shop manual on how to fix something, or do you just open the cookbook to try to figure out if that's how to fix it or not?
What'd she say? Depends on if you're a man or a lady.
When his tractor breaks, I want to be down. I want to see how this international pie tastes. So that's good. But no, we're going to go to the manual or like a computer on how to operate it. I mean, I barely get along with them. It doesn't involve a hammer. But we're going to go to the study manual. We're going to go to whatever it takes to work on whatever we're working on. The Bible's the same way. If we need any answers for life, we can go to any of the things that we might need and study it. We will find the answer for it. It might take us, some it takes less time than others, but we'll be ready. Any comments? We'll go to the next one.
We then have to apply what we learned.
Very good point. I didn't think about that one. How many times do you see somebody do something and they don't apply anything that they just learned?
A lot.
You see a lot of people do that. They'll do it one time and then it's like they forgot it. They don't want to keep applying themselves. It's similar to people that fall away. They don't apply themselves to the study per se. I can tell you, when you're studying, you're a lot more focused on the things that you're studying, and you'll glean more from it than you will just doing it, just reading over it. All right. What was the difference between the wise and foolish virgins?
Wise ones came prepared.
The wise ones were prepared. Okay. What else? Prepared usually equals smart. But
They didn't let others, they didn't let others say
see, this is the fun part. This is something else I learned. So this is new for me.
when you,
A little different way of
They
applying
didn't
myself.
share what they
yeah,
had.
but what's it called? When someone,
Contribute.
no, when someone tries to make you do something, but you don't do it.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
Okay. On Judgment Day, you going to have any peer pressure to be able to get some of your good deeds and give them to somebody else? I didn't think about this, but this is a pretty good point. Who's there to help you? Judgment Day. Say you waited till Judgment Day to decide you want to be a member of the church. It's too late. Can Joe over here on the side that's done good things all of his entire life give you any of his good deeds?
Not unless you're a Mormon. They told me,
Our own deeds are
Yeah.
written in the book, so.
when I packed herbs, they were telling that you could go get back.
That's
Stuff for
an,
other people if you go into their temple. It has to be in the temple.
okay.
I know. Those are interesting things when I worked there.
I guess what I've studied out of the Bible doesn't quite jive with that, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's the things that, like I said, study makes perfection, really. But there's nobody there to go to bat for us but Christ. And here in a little bit, we'll get to that part, but on some of the other scriptures. But our friends, our family, nobody can bail us out. We're there to answer for ourselves. So if we've messed up and we haven't done right, then all the condemnation, everything that is bad will come back on you, and it'll be your own fault. And that's kind of the way I looked at the foolish virgins. They weren't only not prepared, they couldn't. It shows you that they can't transfer back and forth. It's the fact that you're basically stuck, and they were stuck at a point where they couldn't get any more, and Now they're out. 1 Thessalonians 5:6, please.
Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober.
Okay. What are we doing?
Watch.
That's 1 Timothy. That ain't gonna work anyway. We're to watch. Do you think there's any importance in the fact that the things that we've been reading here, everything comes back to watching and preparation? If something's repeated more than one time, what does that usually mean?
It's important.
It's important. Madison, if you're taking a test and the teacher tells you this is an answer for blah, 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 and they do that 5 or 6 times, what's that mean?
Usually on the test.
There you go. It's on the test.
I've known some who
Not all the
tell you to
time.
study all these things and then none of them are on the test.
I've been there too, but usually, I guess I can say from my perspective, if they got up there and they went, this is especially in the FAA, because some of us are a little slow. If they go, you need to pay attention to this. This is a sticking point. Do this. And they go over that 5 or 6 times, that's on the test. But if we're to stop and we're to look for Christ, if we're supposed to be waiting and watching and studying, then that's something. I guess, what did the fool ask the wise, or foolish ask the wise? Share their stuff, which they didn't. All right. When the bridegroom came to the door, what was it? Or what had happened? Card 86. And I'm going to re-ask this question a little bit better, the way I think it should have been asked to begin with. When the foolish returned to the door, well, what state was that door in?
It was closed.
It was shut. All right. That's easier to answer because it didn't quite it sent me for a spin too. All right. Why was that?
Why was,
Or what's that give us an example of, or why use that? Why did Christ say that?
because he's wanting us to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, once it's done, it's done. And you're not gonna have a chance.
If it's kind of like Emily said about those that wait too long. If you wait too long to come, your preparation wasn't there. If we're not prepared for something, what usually happens? You fail. Good. Oh, she's sitting back there with a grin on her face. Don't let her. She's having fun. I'm just picking on her because she's back there by herself tonight. But we should be prepared prior to having to answer for questions we may not want to have to answer. Somebody want to read Luke 21:34 through 36, please?
Luke what?
Luke 21:34 through 36.
And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all those things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man.
Okay, really what it was asking there was verse 36, but I threw 34 on in it because you can see out in the world today, how do people act? Did you hear her? Yeah. What's verse 34 say?
Basically partying and doing anything and everything that they want.
Doing anything and everything they want, and having just a grand old time, really, in their eyes, in what they think. But we notice in 35 that it says something about a snare, right?
Mhm.
That's set there to catch, what's a snare used for?
To catch things.
You want to take care of something, usually you set a snare and you're going to catch it. Raccoon. And those things can be a snare for us also. If you look out into the world and you're saying, well, they're having a good time, I'm over here doing nothing. A person has to stop and take into consideration, is it worth eternity for me to go out and do what they're doing today? Just because I'm doing something that may not be as fun or as glamorous. I mean, you stop and think about it that way. It's something to, hey, I need to pay attention to this and make sure it's something I need to be doing.
Just because the majority of the people do it does not make it right to do it.
But yet today's standards tells you what?
If it is.
If everybody else is doing it, you need to be doing it too. I've seen a lot of that.
Sin is deceptive. On Tuesday, in the jail, we talked about Noah. And one point I tried to bring home to them was the fact that for 120 years, Noah told people, preached to them that the flood was coming. They didn't care. They did exactly what this verse said. They weighed down with the things of this life, the cares of this life, and became a snare to them. And when it came to the point where Noah walked into that ark and it started raining, then they realized differently. It's the same thing. And it's, there were some guys down there that don't even believe in God. One guy said he's a longtime generation Viking. So he worships Odin. And said, you can believe all you want, believe what you want, but there'll be a day where you're going to know the right answer. And it's going to be too late. It made him think, but is it going to change your mind? I don't know. But
You never know. It could be something that hits later too.
that's the thing. So many people are so caught up in the things of this life that it becomes a snare. It becomes that deceptive. Well, as long as things are good in my life physically, then I'm fine. It's only we need God when things are bad.
Yeah.
And, so.
If we view the end of the world as coming here, and then we want to go to look for God. But if everything's like it is right now, other than gas prices, as long as everybody's got food and shelter, do they really care about anything else? No. You see that a lot of times. I mean, you just look out into the world and come Sunday morning, everybody's out doing whatever they want. And they need to stop and think about that for just a second and say, hey, do I have my priorities where they need to be? All right. Let's see here. Luke 12:9. I don't believe I've had anybody read it yet.
But he who denies me before men will be denied before the angels of God.
You're not supposed to read it that fast. All right. All right. Yeah, I did. The gate shut aspect is the same as him denying us before everyone. It'd be pretty bad to think you're doing the right thing and then get there and realize that you didn't do something you should have. And the fact to be denied, you got as far as you got and you thought you were right, and then to realize you're wrong, that'd be kind of painful. I can see the wailing and gnashing of teeth aspect of things, and the fact that, oh no, I didn't do what I should have. I didn't study enough. All right. It's pretty bad when you can't read your own writing. What is the meaning or what's the meaning of this parable? Maybe that'd be easier. Or what do we take as an overall theme?
Of the 10 virgins?
Yep.
I take it as that we need to be prepared, because once Christ comes, it's done. You can't go back and change anything.
And that's what I had wrote down too, so you're fine. And as an overall between the talents and this, they're both talking in the same tone as being prepared prior to meeting. In the talents, you had to have, they showed there that, you know, you used what you had to get the reward. You needed to use it, use your talents, use the things, your abilities, the things you're capable of doing. And then here it shows that we need to be watching and waiting. We're not slothful. We're not just laying around haphazardly doing things. We're out working. All right. Romans 14, 11, and 12, I believe.
For it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow of himself to God.
Okay. What's written there? I'm pretty sure in 11, it's stating what we're going to do, right? Yeah. It's hard to take that out of black and white, really, because it states right there, every knee will bow. You know, he stated what's going to happen. Now it's up to us on whether or not we want to follow through with it. To have the right answer versus the wrong one. So we want to make sure that our answer is correct. All right. 1 Peter 4:5, please. 1 Peter 4:5.
They will give an account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead.
Okay, and then we're going to jump over to 2 Corinthians 5:10. Maybe.
As the truth of Christ is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the regions of Achaia.
2 Corinthians
11:10?
5:10, sorry.
Oh,
I probably stuttered. I slurred a lot.
it's probably me. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad.
I'll let you guys answer the question on that. What are we supposed to do? I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're going to answer.
Have your oil ready.
Have your oil ready.
Yes.
It's a
Have
simple.
gas in your car.
Hey, that light's on, it'll make it. Unless the snow is slick and heavy enough that it bogs the car down, you can't get over 40 miles an hour and then you're done. And you get a walk. Or call the wife out of bed.
I bet your wife was happy.
Oh, she was so proud. So, thank you for your comments this evening. Oh, no, we've already had the discussion.